Good afternoon, it's Lee Cassidy from Tactile Technology, and again we're in the hot seat. Well, I'm not in the hot seat, we've got someone else in the hot seat, but we've got three this week. Well, we originally had three. We had KJ Clarke today, we've got Stu Wood tomorrow, and we did have Sarah Wallace join us on Thursday, but she's not able to join us now, so we're actually going to change that to someone else, hopefully by Thursday, and we'll have someone else to join us in the hot seat. So let's bring in KJ. How are you, KJ?
Hi, thanks for having me.
No problem. So we only met recently because of Downtown in Business, and we got involved in that, and we went to a number of your events. But we don't really know a great deal about you and your past. So tell us a bit about yourself, where you grew up, what your parents did for a living, what you did at school, what you plan to do. Are you going to be a train driver, a vet, a pilot? Tell us a little bit about you from the early days.
Yeah, so I've lived in Stourbridge, Halesowen, all my life. I lived with my mum and my stepdad. And yeah, I went to school and college in Stourbridge and Hagley. I went to Haybridge sixth form. And I went to school around Stourbridge area at Thorns Community College. And then, ventured into Birmingham and the city life as my career's gone on. So yeah, I've always been quite local.
So what was the first job then?
So my first job, the day I actually left school, went to my prom. My stepdad called me and said, "You've got a job starting next Thursday at the pub." And I work at the Windsor Castle Inn in Lye. I was the little pot washer for a bit, and then went into the waitress inside of it and behind the bar, and absolutely loved it. I was there for a few years.
So tell us any stories then of being a waitress, and what interesting thing happened in a restaurant or a pub then. So anything that people won't know that you can tell us live on video. We've got to be careful of that.
Nothing too exciting. I mean, it was very fun. I had the best time, and it was like a family-run business, and we have family friends of ours as well. Met some really, really lovely people there who I still speak to now. I was there most days working behind the bar, and I ran the whole restaurant on a Sunday. That was my day. Met some really lovely people there. We had some good parties there. We did Peaky Blinders. We did New Year's Eve parties. We did summer parties in the barbecue area outside, and we had a really good time. Bought a gin bar upstairs in the restaurant as well. We had gin parties, and it was really good. I absolutely loved working there. I feel like it definitely set me up to.
Any famous guests? Anybody would know?
I don't think I saw any famous people there. Although I know a few different. I think Doctors was actually recorded in the brewery.
Okay.
When I was there one time, and I'm sure. Not the Peaky Blinders themselves now, but they did have another bar not far from the train station, which I'm sure they did a little bit of pictures and a few videos in. So nothing that I can claim to fame, but the restaurant and bar itself did really, really well. And I was there for many years, loved it.
Yeah, something quite seasonal at the moment is my wife works as a dental nurse in a dentist not far from me, and Roy Wood was one of their patients. So quite interesting.
I don't have anything.
That's it. So you worked in the bar for a little while. Did you make a conscious choice to go and do something different, or did just an opportunity appear ahead of you, or did you get another phone call and say you've got another job starting?
No, I absolutely loved being there, but I knew I wanted to get out of the hospitality industry, and I was really interested in working in the makeup industry at the time. So I did some agency work for Gucci, and then cut a long story short, I got offered a contract with Christian Dior, and I worked there for about 4 months over the Christmas period, and then Christmas finished, and they offered me a job there I was part-time advisor, which I absolutely loved. But I think at the time I've just gone 18, so I was quite young. But I knew that I really wanted to stay there, and I wanted to progress, and being in that department store every day with all these other lovely ladies and gentlemen around you who have all built their career up in there, I thought, I'm going to stay here. I need to work hard here. So the first line of my career path was wanting to go down the makeup artist route. So I did exams for Christian Dior, fully qualified as a makeup artist, traveled around the country, doing the events for Dior, which was absolutely amazing, loved it. And then, yeah, my manager went on maternity leave, and I really, really wanted to try the management side of things. So I said, I'm going to go for your role while you're on maternity. And I did, and I absolutely loved it. And I loved the business side of it. And, being in control of my own accounts, I had my own goals under me that I managed, all the stock, all the event side of stuff. Being in a big department store, I just loved it. So I think that's where my career really started, and I really started to realize this is what I want to do: business management, event management sort of thing.
What was the biggest challenge then from moving from being the makeup artist to actually managing people? Is it the people skills? Was it the administration? What's the biggest challenge for you?
I think people conceive beauty and beauty management and working in the beauty industry as just you just put lipsticks on, and it really isn't the case. It's actually really hard work. So I had 3 or 4 goals that I managed on the counter day to day. So that was all their rotas, which is hard work to say the least. Their targets, and then the counter targets, making sure that I'm doing my job, making sure the stock's all there, making sure the counter guidelines exactly how they need to be, because the brand itself, or all the brands in Debenhams at the time where I was working, they have management come around and make sure that everything looks pristine.
They are very, very cautious about the reputation of the brand and how it's perceived, aren't they?
How you speak, how you say hello to someone when they come to the counter, how you serve them, what kind of things you ask them to try on, or what kind of products you welcome them when they come, how you wrap, how you put a bow on a present. Like, literally, there's so many rules, and I think people don't know that. It was hard work, but I absolutely loved it. And then my maternity cover finished, but I actually got offered another role on another counter. So I moved to Estee Lauder then, as it's a larger account, so it's progression for me. So I moved to Boots in the Maryhill Centre and managed that counter for around 6 months. And then I think I was back to Debenhams again, back with Estee Lauder.
How did you feel dropping away from that management role then, going back to effectively the work face directly rather than managing other people? Did it feel different?
It was still a management role. It was just a very different role, because it was classed as whole different account, a whole different company. So I had so much more to learn again. You think that I've been there I think I was there for about 5-6 years at the time. But going to a brand new company, you have all the new products, their way of doing things. It was so different, and it was in a new store as well. So Boots is obviously classed as a chemist rather than a department store. It's ran so differently. So that was mad. But then I was only there about 4 months, and I got asked to go back to Debenhams to run the #1 Estee Lauder counter in the UK there. So that was a massive progression route for me and a massive break in my career. And I was running the counter. It's £1.3 million account, which took a lot of money.
That's a large amount of money, isn't it?
Massive amount of money, and there was 9 girls underneath me then. So that was a very big new role, but I absolutely loved it.
So quite a lot of responsibility at that point then.
Yes, a lot of responsibility.
How old were you at that time?
22, 23, I think.
So quite young still, and with quite a lot of responsibility, both financially and people focused as well.
So I had 9 girls that I was managing on the account, and obviously you have your department managers, you have your area managers, your regional managers. There's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and so I've managed people quite a long time, maybe 30 years, and people are the biggest challenge in most things, because you're not sure what they're going to do, and they can really surprise you at times, with things they want to do or things they do. It's a challenge. So I think that's the hardest thing to learn, isn't it? How to work with people, because like machines, I work in computing, and computers, you do the same thing every day, you get the same result. With people, you can do the same thing to 3 different people, and ask them to do something, or do something like that, and you get 3 different results, don't you, from them? Because they're all individuals, and it's a challenge to do that. And it's understanding how much of the encouragement, the carrot, or how much stick to use to actually get them to go at the best pace you can get them going as well. So can be a challenge then. So definitely. What happened next then? What came next in your career?
So I was on that counter for 2 years, absolutely loved it. But obviously, as we all know, retail took a very big change, and online was a lot more dominant. Things got really tough, and it was very stressful. And I think, working, I was in there for 8 years, and I think after that long time in there, a lot had changed, and I was starting to realize, this is different. This is not what it used to be, and it didn't. I mean, let alone 8 years to me. Other people have been there 30, 40 years. So I decided to start looking elsewhere. I wanted to get out of the retail management side of things. So started applying for jobs elsewhere. I think from working on the counter, I knew I wanted to do some sort of business development, some sort of management. And I did love the event side of things. That's when I started looking at events management. But obviously I'd not been to university, and I'd only got my 8 years experience in retail management, which, like I said, not really thought that seriously of.
So you went to the School of Life like myself then?
So
No
School of
university.
Life,
Yeah. So you learn as you go along.
Yeah, basically. So I was just applying for jobs, and I looked in the hospitality industry again, well, the event side of stuff. So I started applying for jobs there, and it took me about probably a year of applying for jobs to even start getting interviews. And then I got an interview for a sales manager role at a bar in Birmingham. They told me that my experience was too good for the role. So I didn't get offered it, I was really gutted at the time, because I was thinking, please just give me a chance to get in this industry. Like, I don't care, just let me in. But look, the lovely lady that interviewed me actually put me forward for another role, for a bit of a bigger role. And she said, go for this role. I think we're really good for you. And the rest is history. So I had 3 interviews there. And I got the job, and that's working at the Wilderness Fine Dining Restaurant in the Jewellery Quarter, which was absolutely amazing.
I'm not sure how many people outside Birmingham know of it, but it is quite famous in Birmingham. But a number of the chefs have been on things like Great British Menu and things like that in the past as well. So they've done quite a few good things in the past. So what was it like moving back into hospitality? Was it a big challenge for you? Was it similar to what it had been when you left it?
I think the role was completely different. Obviously, before I was operations, whereas this was the sales and event side of things, the back of house kind of thing. And obviously, a fine dining restaurant was just completely brand new to me. I'd never heard of the restaurant before. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about the industry now. It had been such a long time since I'd been in there. But it was absolutely amazing. Alex Claridge, the owner of the restaurant, just took me on board and just gave me all the experience I needed. I mean, I started in the January and went into lockdown in the March. So I felt like it had been taken away from me so quickly, but I got properly involved as soon as I started going to networking, planning events at the restaurant, just, working with all the team there. We had bar staff, we had all the chefs, obviously watching them work every day was just amazing. And then obviously when lockdown happened, we started doing things from home. So we did online cookery classes. We had our own chocolates and our own alcohol that we were selling. We had our own little shop. We did like takeaway and collection and things. We made it all really quirky, because I don't know how much you know about the fine dining restaurant, but it's very different concept. It's very cool, very quirky.
There was desserts that looked like skulls and all sorts of strange things, wasn't there?
Yeah, Alex is very, very creative. He's the most creative person I know. So every single dish has a story around it. And it's just, he made an incredible concept, and the whole agenda of the Wilderness is just second to none. The experience there is just amazing. The staff there, I got to watch them every day, prepping for them for the dinners.
But did you get to try the food very often?
Oh, of course. I mean, coming from someone who's very fussy with food, I don't eat any fish. I'm so fussy. And my first week there, I had to sit and have a 9-course meal with my manager. So I had trout, I had deer. It was just crazy, but it was absolutely amazing. And the experience is just, I definitely recommend to everyone just going and trying it. It was amazing.
So are you less fussy about what you eat now, or are you still as fussy?
I'd still say I'm still fussy, but I do try a little bit more now. I'm a little bit more of an adult when it comes to trying things. But yeah, that
because
took me out.
somebody we both know and is behind things at the moment. Rachel, she's not very good with food. She won't try anything different. So
it is hard. It is hard, but
it's
it's so
interesting
new as well. But it definitely took me in my stead, and it definitely taught me a few things. It was brilliant.
But famously, my mother-in-law won't eat anything that's poultry related. So like chickens, duck, turkey, anything like, because she had a baby chicken when she was little. Called Baldy, so she can't bring herself to eat anything that's poultry because she had a pet chicken. So that's slightly different, but
they don't do chicken at the Wilderness, so tell her to go there.
So it must have been a challenge then, working through the pandemic. So how did it impact you? I know you had to work from home and you had to do different things, but how did it impact you personally, going through that experience of the pandemic and just starting a new job as well, not long before that?
Yeah, so I started this brand new job, which I'd waited so long to even get the opportunity to do. I absolutely loved it. I just felt like it had just been, taken from under my feet. And obviously my role completely changed from sales and events to now, brand manager and helping with deliveries. And it was a really, really stressful time. And I think none of us knew what was going to happen anyway. But the role just kept changing. And as much as it was, an ever-changing role, which I didn't think I'd be doing. Why am I doing deliveries and why am I doing packaging? It taught me so much, and I'll always be so thankful of that experience that I got from Alex and the team at the Wilderness. Obviously, at the time, we were just stuck at home, and I was on furlough and then flexi furlough and then full work again, and then doing probably more hours than I should have been doing. It just depended on, what we were doing as a team, and you had to just take it on board and just get on with it, really. And I think that was the most important learning curve for me, was to just be able to take it on the chin, just do whatever you've got to do and just go with it. But we had the best team, we had the best time, and we did so well. The deliveries that we did, the online things that we did, and we really made a name for ourselves, even more than it already was, the brand itself, before the lockdown. So it's definitely a challenge.
Yeah, I'm going to say most people have been through it, personally, living their lives, but also at work as well. And it's changed all of our lives, hasn't it? And it still is. We're not sure quite what's going to happen going forward at the moment. And there's lots of new changes coming in with restrictions for certain business types and things. And potentially, by what they're saying, there could be more restrictions in the new year if we get to a situation where it's going to be a bit challenged. So, I think, like you say, we just have to, grin and bear it, don't we, and get on with it and learn from the situation and try different things. Because a restaurant, that just is a fine dining restaurant, you wouldn't even imagine you would be looking at, takeaway options, creating drinks and confectionery and things like that. So it's good that that the people can actually roll with it as well and do that pivot type activity and go from there. So my lights are falling down again. I know you can see that. We're having this as a bit of a theme at the moment. I need to invest in better sticky tape, I think. So I tried different 3M today instead of some gaffer tape, which I was using before. So we'll have to try something different. But why the change then, moving on to Downtown in Business then? So what came about?
So obviously I was at the Wilderness from the January until the following February, I think. And obviously with the pandemic and the sales and events role not being probably as useful as it was when I first started, we had a lot of plans for bigger restaurant when I first joined the team. And I think a lot of things had to change, of course. So it was kind of like when is it going to happen? I know it's coming at some point. And my boss rang me.
Sword of Damocles. So waiting for it to fall.
Yeah, which was really sad because, like I said, it was like my dream job that I'd taken so long to get, and I was loving it so much. So it was a really sad day, but I knew it was coming. So my boss rang me and said, "Listen, like the role isn't looking great. There's nothing set in stone just yet, but just to get the feelers out there of what we're looking at doing, what we think you're going to be doing, kind of thing." So yeah, I had a little cry. It was really, really, really sad, but I knew it was coming. So I just thought, right, that's it. I've got to just take the experience that I've got now and go and look for something else. And here I am. So I rang my friend and said, is there any jobs? Do you know of any jobs going? Because she worked at Downtown in Business. And she put me forward for her role and said, don't ask any questions, just go for the interview and I'll speak to you tomorrow.
Why her role? So what was she doing then?
So she'd recently left and set up her own company. So her was vacant kind of thing. So she put me forward for it and I said, I'll never get this role. It's way too big for me. She said, don't ask any questions, just go and have the interview. And I literally thought, I'm never going to get this role, but I'll just go. And, I really enjoy Downtown in Business because I was members at my previous job. So I thought I'll just go and see what I can do. And here I am. I got offered the role after my third interview, I think. And then, been here ever since. The rest is history.
Well, the thing is, you've seen both sides of it now. So being on the actually at the events and doing the networking, and you can see what the experience is from the people who are members. So it actually would make it easier for you to step into the role of organising and managing it, wouldn't it? Anyway, because you understood the environment. It wasn't as if you were stepping into something completely different. It was something you understood.
I've been there before. I've been to the events when I was at the Wilderness because they're members of Downtown. So I kind of knew what the role entailed a little bit and what the company was. So I just thought I'll just go for it. So I was very honoured to get offered the role. And I've been in the role now since the very end of March. And I feel like I've just taken it in my stride and absolutely love my role now. So I definitely agree with the butterfly effect, because if it wasn't for the Wilderness, I wouldn't have got to be even offered the role that I'm in now, and it's probably the happiest I've been in my career. So
each experience in your life adds another layer, doesn't it, of knowledge and complexity and things, and you understand things better. So tell everybody a bit about Downtown in Business. I know a bit about it because we've become members recently and we've been to a couple of events, but not everybody knows what Downtown in Business is. So if you give people a picture what it's about and some of the key benefits that people get from it.
So Downtown in Business is a membership organisation and lobbying group. We are cross-region, but I am the Birmingham face as such, and we just help bring businesses together, help to give them that brand awareness in the city, connect them to prospects on your pipeline, and just have that have that relationship and partnership in the city and throughout. So my role day to day is account managing our existing members, making sure that they're happy. What are they up to? What have they got going on? Can I support with anything? Go out and getting new members as well. Obviously, fresh faces are always welcome into our events. And I plan exclusive invite-only events. So we only have around 30 people in the room at one time. And we have they're very topical events that are always based around a certain agenda. We have a panel of speakers in a nice restaurant or bar. Whether it's to do with HS2 or the transport or hospitality being in a crisis or Commonwealth Games, or we have in conversation with we had Jess Phillips, we've had Andy Street. We do a lot with the public sector, a lot with the private sector. So it's very exciting. The role is very, very different every day, and I'm on my own at the moment in the city, which I can't say that I can't complain. I do love it. So I'm doing the account management side of things, the new sales side of things, and the event side of things. So I love it. Absolutely love it.
She's being kept busy at the moment then.
Being kept very busy, and they're trying to find another colleague to join me in Birmingham. So I'm not on my own, but absolutely love it. I love doing all three roles at the moment.
So we've talked about a little bit about the events. So going, there's like social events. There's ones focused on particular areas, property management and lots of those. What about the lobbying side? So what does Downtown in Business do from a lobbying perspective?
So it just depends on what's going on in the city, what's going on in the world. But our chief exec, Frank McKenna, used to be a politician. So that's how Downtown kind of started. So there's a lot of people in that sort of area. So whenever we've got anything that people feel very strongly about, or there's something happening in the world or the city, we'll normally get people from the public sector there and just start doing, conversations, questions and answers. If anyone's got anything they want to take to government, that sort of thing, we do all that. So it's a little bit different to a normal membership organisation, when we do have lobbying qualities and we do have the right people to have those conversations with and to get in the room. So it depends on what's going on, or we have certain businesses who want to speak to those, those other people to try and get something passed, or to get them to join them on their missions, as I say.
Yeah, I can say, because a lot of people say, well, there's loads of different networking type activity going on. There's loads of different ones. There's early morning ones with 3 letters we won't mention. There's ones that happen at lunchtimes and evenings. And some of them are more of like social events than they are actually business events in some cases as well, that I've been to. But one thing I've noticed with Downtown Business, it's quite focused. It's got some really good quality people. People know what they're there for.
Focused. We do have a few socials, which obviously you came to the one last week. So we have socials,
but not just purely a social. Where it's the anticipation is Sue can stay out the latest and drink the most. It's more about the social interaction side of things, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it's so important for me to make sure that we do have the socials where people can just have that chilled out environment and just have that little bit of a mingle. But our events are, like you say, they're very topical. They're always based around a certain agenda. We have the right people in the room, the decision makers of the businesses, to make sure that you're getting that conversation with the right person. So we are very, pride ourselves on it being very business related, and you are getting something out of it. Whether it's your breakfast, lunch, or your dinner, you're coming in your work time and you are, getting out of it what you put into it, kind of thing, really. So we do pride ourselves on being an important business, not just a few drinks kind of.
We've been to Manhattan, which we'd never maybe gone to before, and which was a great place. I'd recommend anybody go there. The drinks are great environment and things. Wonderful little like private room downstairs. I keep thinking, when could I actually rent that? That might be nice for a little party or something. So great venue there. But again, you've got quite a few of the other hospitality venues actually as members, and we meet them as well. I've met a couple of people from different things. But tell us a little about what the future is, and what events you got planned for early part of next year. Then anything people would be interested in?
Yeah, so we have just launched in the city of Wolverhampton, which is very exciting. So that's another territory of mine now, which I'll be taking over from January. So we have a few events planned there with the councils and the colleges and the universities to showcase, what Wolverhampton has to come. It's a city of regeneration and a city of opportunity. So there's a lot going on there. We're also launching in Newcastle in the middle part of 2022. And we have a massive growth plan, to go into Bristol, to go up to Edinburgh. We've got quite a lot going on with downtown. So we'll be here, there and everywhere. But as such, with Birmingham, we've got the events planned for the whole year now. So we've got some large scale events. We've got our City of Birmingham Business Awards, which we do every year. We have the Talking About Regeneration Property Conference. We've got an Innovation Conference. We've got Women in Business Awards, as well as our roundtables, our lunches, our in conversations with, that sort of thing. So we've got a very busy events program next year, which is very exciting. So I'm really looking forward to getting it all started. Really.
I am too. I'm looking forward to some of these events next year. Hopefully, if we can attend them, we just got to see what the situation brings. Well, let's hope things don't get much worse than they are now, and then hopefully we'll continue. I don't know about you. I've just started getting used to going out again and seeing people and having a little bit of social life, because previous 18 months, it was dead, wasn't it? Your life was staring at a screen every day, and then walking out the room and you finish work because you're in the same house.
I really hope we can still get everything we've got planned to go ahead. So I'm sure we will.
All right. So what about the future? What does the future hold for you? Is Downtown Business going to be a long-term thing? Have you got plans for the future where you'd like to go? Or, is there a chance for promotion within Downtown in Business?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, like I say, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of new things happening for downtown, where we're going to be, what we're going to be doing. So I'm hoping I'm here for the long run, and I'm hoping that there's progression routes in the management side of things for me, whether that be in Birmingham or covering more cities, or having ownership of, have been a little bit more of a people manager again. I'd like to do more with the events team. So yeah, they know that I said, do whatever you need to do with me. I want to be here. I'm here for the long run. So I'm
So a
looking.
bit of ambition there still.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'm here for the long run. I'm here to see what I can do, with my career, where I can go with it. I know there's a lot of progression in downtown, so yeah, I'm looking forward to see where I will. Who knows where I'll be this time next year?
Right. So I can't think of anything else to ask you, but I've got start to get a bit of an idea of a theme to start doing with all these things. And towards the end, what we're going to do is ask people what was their favourite thing they've ever eaten in their life, and secondly, something that people wouldn't know you've done, something adventurous maybe. So, can you give us both of those then? So, what's the best thing you've ever eaten in your life, and what's the most adventurous thing you've ever done?
Oh gosh, I'm not very good at either of these. Last night I went for a meal actually, and we were talking about our favourite meals. So this is probably the perfect time to say, I love the Ivy restaurant, and they do the perfect fillet steak there ever, which I just love. But my favourite dessert ever is the chocolate bomb. When you tip the toffee over it and it melts.
And it melts, yeah.
So I was talking about that last night, just because no one does them anymore. I can't find them anywhere apart from the Ivy. So I think my favourite meal will definitely be the Ivy, just as general, with a fillet steak.
Yeah. So fillet steak followed by the chocolate bomb. What about adventurous then? What's the most adventurous thing? Zip wiring, skiing, skydiving, snorkeling? What have you done that's been really adventurous?
I'm very boring, actually. You've made me realise how boring. I've done none of those.
I'm sure you're far from boring.
I'm not very adventurous. I'm really not. I think that's one thing I need to do next year. Be a little bit more adventurous.
So you've not wheelied down the motorway on a motorbike, or driven at 100 miles an hour, allegedly, we'd say.
I need to start being a bit more fun, don't I?
Well, I've just set the bar. The most adventurous thing I think I've done. I've done quite a few things, but I've flown in a Hercules and sat on the back ramp with my legs dangling. It's about 3,000 feet, so it's reasonably high at that level. So that's quite adventurous.
And I've been on a speedboat and things like that.
Oh, speedboat, jet skiing, that's adventurous, isn't it? Where was that? Anywhere warm?
In Spain. My family's got a place over there, so every year we go. And I went on the jet ski with my dad. And the man was like, "Okay, turn it off now." So we had to stop moving. And then the shark came.
Oh yeah, that's quite adventurous. Definitely
turning it on to try and get him out the way. So that's probably
every now and again you see videos of things like that. People on board, it was like surfboards or jet skis, and you can see that dark movement underneath the water.
No one believes
there's a shark or
something. There's a shark. It's like, no, it's not. There is, and you can just see his point coming. We were like, oh my gosh. So that's as exciting as it's got, probably.
Definitely exciting. So thanks ever so much for joining me today. It's been great to know a bit more about you. Anything else you'd like to tell people before we shut things down?
No, I have nothing else. But if anyone's interested in learning more about downtown and becoming a member and coming to our events next year, just get in touch. Yeah.
We've been putting the details up on the screen as we've gone along. So, downtowninbusiness.com is the main website. We've also put KJ's LinkedIn profile up if you want to contact her as well. And what we'll do is put those also in the comments with this afterwards, so you can see that. But tomorrow we've got Stu Wood, who's the co-founder at Woodshires. I know Stu about 12, 14 years, I think it is now. So, because we were both based in the same building at one stage many years ago in Solihull at Malvern House. So I know him and his father quite well. But also we're hoping to get a replacement in for Sarah, who can't make it now on Thursday. So look out for that, and we'll let you know who we've got. But if you are interested in joining us, at the bottom you can see mine and Rachel Gould's email. Drop us an email. Drop us a message through LinkedIn if you're already connected to us, and we can get you organised. We're trying to do 2 a week as a minimum. We were trying to do 3 a week because we had quite a lot of people interested up till Christmas, so we're trying to get that done as well. But again, thank you very much, KJ. I look forward to some of the events in the new year, and have a great Christmas and New Year if I don't speak to you before.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Have a lovely
Christmas.
If you hang on afterwards, we'll have a quick chat just to make sure you were happy how you were treated on this interview. See you in a bit. Bye.